So David Jumper came to work for us July 1st in 2000, and he was a great addition. David was a go-getter. He would get things done quickly and had a real passion for helping us take care of all the weeds on campus. And when he sprayed, I didn't have to work. David took our mowing from, we used to take us 10 days to mow the campus. David really helped lower that and to where we were mowing the grass within 5 days because he was spraying all the weeds out. And so he made us much more productive. However, David was so fast, and he put this blue dye in his tank so he could see where he was spraying, that because he was moving so quickly, I got to pay for not only a car to be washed because it got blue dye all on it and on campus. I got to pay for a paint job of a car that got blue dye, and then we had a building that got painted. The columns got painted blue, and so David was always providing us new opportunities. One day I sent him and one of his co-workers over to remove a dead tree next to a brand new building that had just been built on campus. And David, was no problem for him. He knew how to run a chainsaw. He'd been running tractors all his life, grew up on that. Ever since he was a toddler, he'd been driving a tractor. So him and his co-worker there were cutting down the tree, and somehow or another, after the tree was down and so forth, I got a phone call that I might want to come over to the site and take a look at the site, that it probably needed some additional attention. And when I got there, I noticed there was a big line on the side of the building where the tree had actually fallen and hit the building, and then it took out two lights that were along the sidewalks, and they were kind of these expensive lights. And so my question to them was, I thought y'all knew how to do all this, and they assured me that they did, but it was just somehow the tree had gotten away from them and wiped out all that. So David was always really good, but he did give us new opportunities to provide funding for places.
So Jumper, there's never a dull moment being around with him. Had a plethora of knowledge and took a lot of pride in everything that he did, and I believe everybody followed right behind him in that. Me and him talked a lot about fungicides, and that's not a fun conversation, but Jumper always made it really lighthearted and fun. So.
What is a funny story you have with David Jumper?
Family-friendly, work-appropriate stories are, because there's a lot. When we renovated the golf team facility and driving range in 2018, they drained that pond by our shop. That's the irrigation pond for their operation. And David allegedly one day saw a peacock come out of that pond, which is pretty deep, and walk off in the woods. And so he's telling us about this peacock. This went on for, weeks, saying, have y'all seen this peacock? You gotta see this peacock. Seven Green, our old spray tech, and I were over there. And David drives up, and we're talking. He goes, there it is, there's that peacock, And he's pointing, looks over, so we drive over, and it's a turkey. And so David, for the longest time, has assumed a peacock lives at this golf course. And I'll probably still tell you today that it does, but that's a bunch of it.
There's a lot of funny stories with David, but we'll just say bulldozer, and everybody should know what we're talking about.
Well, I retired at an early age, and I realized that I didn't want to stay retired. And I came out here, and David gave me the opportunity to work out here part-time, kind of full-time, part-time, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And he's taught me a lot about how to run a golf course and all that sort of thing, and it's just been very, very enjoyable. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it.
So David has been a great influence, not only for landscaping when he was landscape services, but at the golf course. He has a very strong work ethic. He leads by example. And so David was not always the world's greatest communicator with his words, but he communicated really big time with his actions. And he would come in after hours if needed and do some of the things that needed to be done when there weren't a lot of people around. And David influenced me in the sense that he just cared about his job. He cared about the quality. He cared about what the campus looked like. And he was one of those leaders that you didn't have to motivate. He brought that motivation from within inside of him.
I'm always more of a shrub and tree ornamental guy, which Jumper, those are weeds for Jumper. So I would say that Jumper pushed me to learn more about turf, and I picked his brain a lot. I used to go to the golf course and just ask him about certain things so we can get better. So I think he made me aware that we could improve, and he gave me the ways to improve.
A lot. David's been very influential to me. I mean, he's been a mentor and a friend and a really good person to learn from. I really value David's friendship. I mean, he's family as far as I'm considered. I've gotten to know his kids and Miss Sheila very well, and it's a good testament to David that two of his kids do what we do for a living, because it's not easy. So David sets a good example for those guys, and I'm just thankful to have gotten to work with him over the years.
I just want to tell David to enjoy your retirement. Do what you can, but don't overdo it, and just enjoy retirement. Enjoy your children and grandchildren.
Enjoyed having you here, and enjoy your retirement.
Piggyback on that, thank you. I mean, he helped me get my business started, and kind of mentored me through that process, and it's just been one thing after another. It's been very fortunate to know David.
Enjoy your retirement. Hopefully you can keep a pair of shoes that aren't blue anymore.
David, thank you for all your leadership. Thanks for taking us to the totally new level from your time of being here, not only on the campus at Ole Miss, but then going over to the golf course and turning that around. That took that golf course to what it was, and some people used to affectionately refer to it as all kind of unpleasant names. To you took it to something that we're all very proud of, and it was winning awards, making money for the first time, really good money, and a lot of your leadership has been success of that at Ole Miss. Thank you.